Okay, time to go off on this shit. Spoilers. During the final fight between Obi-Wan and Vader, the epic emotional battle that the entire season has led up to, why did they keep cutting back to Reva chasing and fighting Luke and Uncle Owen? In a story, you have to make everything matter. Every moment has to feel important and make sense to the narrative. What does this have to do with Obi-Wan's story? Why did they keep cutting to this? You have 45 minutes to wrap up this show, and you spend 5 to 10 minutes on Reva toying with the Lars family? What in the great googly fuck? How did Uncle Owen even survive Reva this long? I know she was wounded, but even a wounded Force user is much stronger than a regular person. He rips a pipe off the wall and starts fighting her with it, and I'm just like, oh, what are you doing? Use the Force! Choke him! Pin him up against the wall! Take the pipe from his hand! Make the house crumble on top of him! Do something! Did you forget how to use it? No, because you use it on Luke shortly after this, which was so stupid. In A New Hope, Luke is this average farm boy who has never seen any action or real danger in his life. He's never heard of the Force, he didn't know what Jedi and Sith were, and he's never seen a lightsaber before. But now I guess he did? He was running from a lightsaber-wielding, Force-using Inquisitor just 10 years ago. And in that film, he acts like he's never met Ben before, but Ben gave him his favorite toy that he plays with for years, the day after an Inquisitor tries to kill him. You don't think he'd remember that forever? And also in A New Hope, Obi-Wan tells Luke, I haven't gone by the name of Obi-Wan since before you were born. Nope. They call him Obi-Wan many times in this show. Leia even makes sure to call him Obi-Wan when they say goodbye, so now that line doesn't make sense. They kind of made it make sense that Leia doesn't recognize him when she sends him that message, but I still think it's kind of forced. And I guess his duel with Vader can also kind of fit in the canon because in that fight, Obi-Wan is the master and Vader is still the learner. But Vader's exact quote is, when I left you, I was the learner. Now I am the master. But in this episode, Obi-Wan beats him and leaves him again. So he must be referring to when he left Obi-Wan to train with Sidious and become Darth Vader. Or did he just misspeak? Or was that movie made with the intention of having that be their first rematch and this show is retconning that for money? Or do words just not mean anything anymore? The fight in itself I enjoyed. The choreography was good and there were some cool moments with the Force, but I just didn't care about anything happening. There wasn't that emotional weight to it that the show needed to have. I didn't feel like these were two best friends turned enemies dueling to the death. It felt like, cool, Darth Vader and Ewan McGregor are having a cool fight. Cool, Obi-Wan is throwing some rocks. Ewan does do an amazing job in this scene. And when he told Anakin that he's sorry and his eyes started to well up and he was about to cry, my eyes started to well up. It almost got to me, but that's it. It was all flash with no substance, held up by a great performance by McGregor. And those motherfuckers, those lying motherfuckers, they had the audacity to play Duel of the Fates in the trailer, but not do it in the show. They sold me on the trailer with that song. So to not actually have that song played during their final fight was a huge letdown and, frankly, borderline false marketing. They reeled us in with the nostalgia, then didn't deliver. They wasted so much time building up Reva's revenge arc and introducing us to boring side characters and having Leia get kidnapped and go on an adventure, and they didn't spend enough time on Obi-Wan and Anakin's relationship. They just expect us to get it because we saw the prequels. Okay, we know that Anakin is mad and Obi-Wan is sad. All this show did was confirm that Anakin is mad and Obi-Wan is sad. We needed more episodes developing Ben's guilt and the weight of his failures. We needed to see Vader commit more carnage so that Obi-Wan understands the monster he's created. We needed more conversations with them together to see their different ideologies clash. Not just, you hurt my feelings. I'm sorry, I failed you. It was such a surface level analysis of such an interesting dynamic. So when the sabers were clashing and when they were trying to kill each other, I thought, cool, this is something to watch. It didn't have that impact. Obi-Wan goes to fight Vader, knowing that one of them is going to die. He even says it. Either I die or he dies. He even repeats his line from Revenge of the Sith when he says, I will do what I must. But then when he sees Anakin's face under the mask and realizes that he's truly lost him, he just walks away and leaves him there. Why? This was a fight to the death. You need to stop this man, and you even said it out loud. And now that you've accepted that he is truly a monster, you're just gonna let him live? Why? Because of pity? Because the plot needed you to? He acts like his troubles are over and everything's good now. But you know that Vader will never stop coming after you and trying to hurt the ones you love. Why did he leave him alive? I truly don't get it. The only explanation is that the plot needed it. And his journey from hermit who was completely cut off from the Force to badass Jedi God didn't feel earned. There wasn't enough time to demonstrate his growth and show him really working towards his old ways. There are a few moments where he's trying to use the Force, but I think it could have used a few more episodes. Or maybe just handle it in a better way. And fuck me, Reva sucked! Her whole arc was just getting revenge on Vader, then when she can't do it, she targets Luke for some reason, then can't bring herself to kill him, and then she turns good? Oh god, she was a bad villain. A great concept on paper, ruined by plot inconsistencies and subpar acting. And I don't even blame Moses Ingram. No actor could make this dialogue work. The writing in this show was straight up bad. She had no problem hunting Jedi and killing innocent people all these years, but she just can't kill Luke. She's probably killed many Jedi, and she was okay with trapping them in that orange tomb, but because it's Luke, the story needed her to not kill him and learn the error of her way. After she survived being stabbed in the gut twice and surviving it, when Qui-Gon Jinn couldn't even do that. And while it's cool to see Liam Neeson and it's cool to get cameos, Qui-Gon showing up at the end made me feel nothing. It was so rushed, and it just felt like an obligation instead of a real moment. They were building this moment up with Obi-Wan trying to talk to him and not being able to. Then he just casually shows up at the end like, nah, I was always here. Come on, let's go walk into the desert. Qui-Gon should have shown up mid-battle when Obi-Wan was on the ropes. Maybe even the moment that he's trapped under all that rubble. He's on the verge of giving up, and Qui-Gon shows up to give him a word of advice and one final lesson before he musters up the strength to defeat Vader. Now that would have been a powerful moment, but it probably still wouldn't have worked because this whole damn show is rushed. 6 episodes, once again, were not enough. But at the same time, there was so much padding in the story that maybe 6 episodes were enough, if they just focused on Vader and Obi-Wan. I mean, this episode was so stuffed that we didn't even get to see the moment where Leia is reunited with her parents. Her whole story in this season was trying to get back home. Her parents missed her dearly and didn't know if they would ever see her again. We need that moment of relief to make the entire journey worth it. But nope, we see her on a ship, then it cuts to them all together and everything is fine. Yay, happy family. And at the end of the day, this show was filler. Glorified filler. It didn't focus on Obi-Wan enough, it had bad acting, terrible directing and editing, too many characters I cared nothing about, forgettable music, nostalgic fanbait, it broke canon, had confusing character decisions, and it was an overall waste of time. Why was Reva in this show? Why was Leia in this show? Why was Kumail Nanjiani in this show? Why was Ice Cube's son in this show? Why did any of this happen? Why was this guy in the show? I actually forgot he existed until this exact moment because he was completely useless. I don't think he used his lightsaber once or did a single thing in the entire show. He was just a crybaby bitch boy, used to give Reva some fake conflict. This was literally a show made to fill in the gaps of a story we already know and set up spin-offs and future appearances from other characters. Ice Cube's son even has a line like, I'm just getting started. And he was basically winking into the camera saying that he was coming back. Man! A few great Vader scenes, some cool nostalgia, and a superb performance by Ewan McGregor are the only things holding this show back from being truly bad. Obi-Wan Kenobi was a disappointing mess, and it gets 4 out of 10 pickles from me. I am actually shocked at how much I didn't care for this crap. But oh well, we'll always have those 3 or 4 Vader moments to look up on YouTube. I appreciate you giving me your time today, and until we meet again, peace out.